Welcome to the Toastmasters experience. My name is Evelyn. Get inspired by today's Toastmasters insights. Enjoy the show. And welcome to another episode of the Toastmasters experience. Yes, today's episode is just a little bit different. Now, the last question I ask all of the people that I interview here at the Toastmasters experience is, what advice would you give someone considering joining Toastmasters? So I've just put a compilation together of the last few interviews that I've done. So I think there's about 11 or 12 answers there that I've put together. And I hope you enjoy this. Just a little bit different, but I think sometimes it's good to have all the answers in one little episode. So yes, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
My advice would be feel the fear and do it anyway. It is very scary to join for some people. It was scary for me, but after a little bit of time, it becomes familiar. And so I would say to anyone listening out there, if you want to improve your confidence, if you want to improve how you speak, Toastmasters is a fantastic, supportive place to come to improve your skills.
A single piece of advice would be, we don't know what our capacity is, and we often don't know where our strengths are. Some people call them gifts or talents. So the only way to find out is to have a go.
Don't delay.
Do it today, yes.
Absolutely. I just think there are so many dimensions to your life that you can benefit from. And I think one of the things is we join because we want to improve our speaking. I think something every human being can do much, much better is listen. And I think there's a fantastic opportunity to learn to pay attention to people speaking, and just from the social aspect, going to conferences and connecting with people there.
Just do it and just go along. And no, I think go along, maybe if you can go along with a friend or find someone that you can go along or go to the club and just be vulnerable and just say, I'm thinking, but I'm really nervous, and sit next to someone there's usually someone in the club who's got the job of welcoming new members. Mm-hmm. Go along and see if you can find that person and then just sit there. And if you don't want to say anything for the first few meetings, don't. But I'd suggest, as I said to a new member, I said to her, just speak. Whenever you get an opportunity to speak, mm-hmm. just speak. And just put your hand up and just throw yourself in at the deep end. And she now realises that was really great advice. Mm-hmm. And she's really good speaker. And if she hadn't come to the club, I think she's got a real gift. But she loves the fact that I just said, just jump, and you'll find the wings to fly, and that's, I really think that's what people should do.
I would say definitely go and have a try, and try and commit to at least 5 meetings, because it might be scary and you might think, I'm never going back there after the first meeting, but keep going, and, eventually you will improve and it'll be worthwhile.
I would say get in there and do it, join, and don't be too hard on yourself if you get up for the first table topic and you only last 30 seconds. We've had people who've only lasted 5.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, you could be a business person running your own life, running a good life, and a very effective life, and yet you join Toastmasters, and it's a whole new, different challenge, and it's so rewarding when you meet those challenges.
Yeah.
Absolutely rewarding.
I think you're absolutely right.
I went to a talk once by a public speaker who said one of the things that people do is they're very hard on themselves. So when you get up, give your speech, when you go back to your seat, you spend the next few minutes congratulating yourself about all the things you did well, and wait for hours before you actually look at what you could have done better. Because there's too much of that, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, and not enough of, I'm so pleased
that I even got up.
that I did it.
Yeah.
Not just that, that you gave the speech.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding, and you give a lot, but you'll get back. The more you give, the more you'll get back, basically.
Yeah.
And the more you listen to other people and reflect and give them support, we grow as well.
Well, it's that Nike saying, isn't it? Just do it. You don't know what you're going to achieve until you come through that door as a guest, get that feeling like I did that very first time, and you never, ever forget that feeling. And it comes to you every time you walk through that door. It's the feeling of being in a safe place. It's the feeling of being welcome and knowing that everyone in that room is there to support you. And you don't get that in very many places.
You look up Toastmasters on Google and it'll show you your closest clubs. You make contact, go down, sit at a meeting. You'll definitely enjoy it. There's no pressure to speak on the first night. It's all voluntary. I'd also suggest for people to try a couple of other clubs. You might drop in at 2 or 3 clubs, just pick ones in your area, and then you can decide which one you want to join. There's absolutely no pressure. Every club is always welcome to have guests. And then once you decide, I like the feel of this club, then give it a good go. I think you've really got to give it at least 6 months to really get the Toastmaster experience and know if it's for you and if you're going to enjoy it and if you're going to get learnings out of it. I 100% think everyone can and will and should.
Yep.
Because I've got so much out of it.
The primary piece of advice is just do it. If you're scared, if you're worried, put all that aside, come along, see what it's like, give it a go. Yeah. My very first attempt at giving a public speech at Toastmasters was a table topic. At the first meeting, I think I stood up maybe for 10 seconds and maybe I spoke for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what I said because it is totally blanked from my mind. Mm-hmm. But I've got better over time, and it's like riding a bike, playing the piano, any skill that you're trying to acquire. Some people come along and they've already got some skills and you look at them and going, oh, they're a beginner and I'm a beginner too and they're so much better than me. But if you start comparing yourself to others, that's not very helpful. You just need to compare your own performance. And so when you give a speech in Toastmasters, you have a record of the evaluation, so you can actually see your progress over time.
Yep.
The obvious answer is to just do it. But what I would say is even before that, if you are considering going to a Toastmasters club, reach out to the club through their Facebook page or through the Find a Club section on the Toastmasters website and make contact to let them know that you'd like to come and so that they know to expect you, because what will likely happen then, if the club is doing its job, is that you should receive a nice friendly call or email from one of the members, and that will give you the sense of knowing someone even before you set foot in the door. And I know that when that's been me on the receiving end of a person saying, hey, I'd like to come to a club, I make sure that when the meeting night comes, I train my eyes at the door and I am waiting for that person to come through the door. And the second I see someone I don't know, I make a beeline for them.
Yes.
And and introduce myself and welcome them and then sit them near another Toastmaster. And yeah, it's a lot of people will say, just do it. But I think having that pre-contact and just knowing someone else by name when you walk into a club can help to put you at ease, because it's like, I know someone.
Yeah.
I know. I even if it's a brief email exchange or a text message or whatever, it's just that someone's going to be there waiting for me. And I think that helps to ease the anxiety of walking into a place that you don't know.
Well, it's like everything. If you don't try it, you will never know. So at least give it a go. I'm not quite sure how many times you're allowed to come along as a non-member. Maybe once, twice. I'm not sure. I think I came twice.
Yeah.
So do that. And then if you fit, if it feels right, then you can become a member. Or if you don't like one club, go to another one. See what that's like. Because as I found, even with my short durations at both, they're different. And you may find something that, hey, this is right for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, give it a go.
Dive in tomorrow. If there was one thing I could change in my life, oh gosh, I would go to Toastmasters at 18.
Yeah.
I don't regret my life. There's lots of wonderful things I've done, but my goodness me, if I had done this at 18, I can only imagine. I started at 46, I think I was. I can only imagine what I would have done with the confidence I have now, the skill set I have now. And if you're listening to this and you've even got a little bit of desire to be more in life, go to Toastmasters. You can go to a couple of different clubs. If you're not ready or you don't want to make the commitment of going to a face-to-face club, go to an online club. That's a little less confronting maybe being on Zoom, but I would encourage people to have both experiences. It's great to be on Zoom, but you also need the in-the-room skills as well, I believe.
Yeah.
I would encourage people to have both, but I just go back to my earlier statement. You have no idea what you can do until you go to somewhere where every single fortnight or every week someone is telling you can do anything. Someone is giving you the skills to speak up. Someone is getting you to stand up, speak up, and find your confidence. The world has so many opportunities, and I think a lot of us are too scared to take them.
Yeah.
But you go to Toastmasters and you do things you never thought possible, and your life is so much the richer for it. And you do it. You do it with a bunch of people who are so interesting, so varied, and every one of them is there to support you.
Yeah.
So where do you go in life?
Exactly.
Where people aren't just out for themselves. It's not competitive, as I said, in an awful way. It's competitive in a way that you just lift people to be their best.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Sign me up. And yes, indeed, sign me up. Sign me up to Toastmasters. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for your company. Please tune in next time to the Toastmasters Experience.